Would you, Ms. Burge, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that you will truthfully and accurately translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English, so help you God? Thank you. All right. Good morning. Are you Johnny Jacobo Ramon?
Yes.
And Mr. Ramon, you were previously in court and entered a plea of guilty to the second-degree felony offense of accident involving death. And that was a plea agreement of a cap of 15 years in prison. I have received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
The courtroom begins with a translator being sworn and a sign that today's case will cross language and legal boundaries Johnny Jacob Ron stands before the court, having already entered a guilty plea to the secondary felony offense of an accident involving death. This wasn't just a traffic sit-down, it's a life-altering event that now carries a possible 15-year prison sentence. The judge confirms that all parties have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation report and the defense confirms no objections. At this moment, we understand the tone has shifted. This isn't a debate about guilt anymore. It's now about the consequences. The court is not focused on the accident intention, but on the accountability tied to that irreversible moment a person lost their life that night. And now the law must respond. The judge calmly sets the stage for what's to come, reinforcing the seriousness of the charge around plea locks and the fact that he accepted responsibility. Now the focus turns to how much he would pay for it. The system has moved into sentencing mode. Everyone knows the weight of what's being decided, but only one person will carry it for years to come. The defense braces for its turn, hoping to sway the court toward leniency before the final gavel drops.
You may proceed.
Your Honor, this is a tragic accident. If you read the factual basis, which I know you did, the person was walking across the street at nighttime, and cars swerved, and my client actually hit him. As reflected by the charge, he failed to stop. He panicked, as in reference to his version, that is on page 1, and then was stopped up in Lumberton. He's been employed. He has family up in Woodville. He's been employed. He's got one problem. He is not a U.S. citizen. I would be arguing for probation in this case, but it is my understanding that there is a hold on him by immigration, and that he probably will not, if he got probation, he wouldn't be released. He has 2 prior DWIs from Tyler County that were taken care of at the same time.
The defense begins its argument with an appeal to humanity, calling the incident a tragic accident. Ron, they explain, hit a pedestrian who was crossing the street at night, an event made worse by surrounding traffic confusion. But then comes a major legal misstep. Round didn't stop. He panicked. He fled. That failure to render aid is at the heart of this felony. The defense continues, highlighting Ron's background as employed, his family in likes in the U.S., but without legal citizenship. That detail carries its own weight as it complicates any hopes of probation. Even if granted immigration hold, could prevent him from ever benefiting from a lighter sentence. They point to prior DWI charges that were resolved with short jail terms. They argue this shouldn't define him now, especially since the fatal collision was an accident, not an intentional act. Yet there's no denying he was intoxicated when it happened. The defense recognizes that and doesn't try to hide it, but they're asking the court for something less than the full 15 years, anything that acknowledges his humanity while still holding him accountable. It's a delicate balancing act, and they are trying to walk that line with care, emotion, and legal reasoning.
That I believe is from Hardin County, was when he was arrested, and that's been dismissed or rejected by the, and probably because we're down here, that's how we did it. Your Honor, I asked for, not, there's a death involved, and I would love to have the minimum in reference to penitentiary time, but I'm asking for mid. I think that 15 is probably too harsh, and that's my opinion, especially in light of the facts and circumstances of this, in which the person was walking across the street at the time and being blocked by other vehicles, and other vehicles had to get out of the way. But he was definitely wrong in not stopping, and he was intoxicated. I would ask for anything less than the 15 because I know where he's going to go, and that's a sad thing, but he's not here legally, and I don't know if he would like to address the court.
Sí,
Yes, go ahead.
quiero decir que lo siento, que si lo hubiese visto, yo me hubiese detenido antes para poder auxiliarlo, pero pues...
Hold on.
Judge, I'm so sorry. Had I seen him, I would have stopped and helped and rendered aid.
Pero pues había un carro.
As the defense wraps up, I is given a chance to speak. This is the moment everyone waits for the voice of the person who calls the irreversible through a translator. He tells the judge that he didn't see the man in time, that there was a car blocking his view. He says he would have helped if he had realized what had happened. The courtroom grows, still sincerity hangs in the air, but doubt lingers. Is this remorse born from guilt or from the looming sentence? He continues saying he wishes he could go back and help, emphasizing his regret. The judge listens silently but carefully, as every word may influence a decision. Rowan then answers practical questions. He worked as a driver, lived in the U.S. for 14 to 15 years, and supported his family. These details aren't meant to justify the crime, but to offer context. Is not a stranger to responsibility. Still, the court must determine whether his life circumstances should temper the punishment for deadly mistake. Emotional appeals can be powerful, but in a courtroom, they often collide with cold facts. Ron's statement may tough at the heart, but whether it sways the law remains to be seen.
Okay.
Pero pues había un carro enfrente y yo no lo pude ver antes.
There was a vehicle in front and I wasn't able to see him in time.
Okay.
Pero pues quiero decir que lo siento.
I want to say that I'm sorry.
Si pudiera volver el tiempo lo haría, pero
But if I could go back in time, I would go back and
soy
help.
el culpable.
And I know I'm guilty.
Okay. Thank you.
I just have one question up here. What were you doing for work?
¿Qué estaba haciendo de trabajo?
Estaba en el roofing
I was a roofer.
And how long have you been? How long have you been in the country?
¿Cuánto tiempo has estado aquí en los Estados Unidos?
14, 15 años.
14, 15 years.
And have you always had a job?
¿Siempre han tenido un empleo?
Sí,
Yes.
And you do have a family?
¿Y si tienen familia?
sí.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Judge, we would argue for the max sentence in this case on the plea agreement based on the fact that when he struck him, he knew that he struck him. That was evidenced by the phone calls the next day.
The prosecution wastes no time. They argue strongly for the maximum sentence of 15 years, pointing to facts that go beyond the accident. According to them, Rowan knew he had hit a person. They cite phone calls the next day and comments made when police stopped him where he claimed he struck a deer. Officers didn't buy it. They went back to the county line, searched for evidence, and uncovered the truth to the state. This wasn't a simple panic. It was a cover-up. The prosecution insists this pattern shows Round was trying to escape responsibility. They add that he had a known issue with alcohol and was in the U.S. without legal status. Finally, they mention behavior while he was in jail, noting general disrespect and rule violations. Their argument builds later upon later to paint a picture of someone not just guilty of a mistake, but of actively avoiding accountability. They want the full weight of the law brought down in their eyes. This isn't just about one night, it's about character choices and consequences. They are not asking for the sentence, they are demanding it, and they've stacked the evidence to justify every euro.
the fact that you were intoxicated. And in addition, what no one, and I'm not even sure that when you were in our jail for some amount of time, there was a requirement that I release you because of the amount of time that had gone from the time of the offense while you were sitting in custody. I did that, and then you didn't show up. You are here illegally and have now killed someone. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And at this time, find you guilty of accident involving death. Sentence you to 15 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive.
The judge now takes the floor, addressing the courtroom with a calm but firm voice. She acknowledges the tragedy and the facts, the death, the intoxication, the flight from the scene. She recalls a prior moment when, due to the extended time I had spent in custody awaiting trial, she was required to release him. But when released, he failed to return to court as ordered. That action, more than anything, speaks volumes to her. The judge is visibly disappointed, not just in the act itself, but in the miss. Chance of cooperation and reform. She reflects on the gravity of being in the country without legal status and now carrying the weight of fatality. It's clear she has little room left for leniency. Real had the opportunity to show up to take accountability early, and he didn't. She concludes her remarks by officially finding him guilty and sentences him to 15 years in prison. Her voice doesn't rise, it doesn't have to. The silence in the room speaks louder. The message is clear. Responsibility can be avoided and justice doesn't bend, for regret delivered too late.